Jeudy didn't wait for the season to start. His endorsement of Shedeur Sanders came early, loud, and without hesitation, because he wasn't just reacting to highlight plays. He was recognizing a media-savvy, game-ready quarterback already disrupting how NFL talent is evaluated. From locker room whispers to national headlines, Sanders has bypassed the traditional rookie learning curve and entered the league as a known quantity. Not through gameplay, but through presence, branding, and control of the spotlight. The NFL usually waits to crown its stars. With Shedeur, it's reacting in real time. Franchises around the league have begun taking notes, not just on his mechanics, but on his movement. Sanders is triggering a shift that goes beyond the Browns' quarterback depth chart. His early rise is a signal that branding, media fluency, and player-led narratives are now influencing front office decisions. Cleveland holds a unique advantage, but also a looming risk. If they don't act soon, the very market forces that helped elevate Sanders may start pulling him elsewhere. The league is adjusting faster than ever, and Sanders is already ahead of the curve. The NFL isn't supposed to be this reactive. The league likes structure, predictability, hierarchy, especially when it comes to quarterbacks. But Shedeur Sanders has already thrown all of that into question. And the timing couldn't be more awkward for Cleveland. Shedeur hasn't played it down in the NFL. Not one. No regular season debut, no primetime breakout, no dramatic fourth-quarter comeback. But he's already changed the energy inside one of the most historically unstable franchises in the league. He's doing it in practice. He's doing it with his demeanor. He's doing it just by showing up and being exactly who he's always been, calm, prepared, and totally unbothered by the moment. That's what has the league's attention. And more importantly, that's what has Cleveland's attention, even if they're trying not to say it out loud. There's a reason Shedeur's name is coming up so often when it comes to the Browns' future. Because despite being a rookie, he's not moving like one. He's not speaking like one. He's not being treated like one. Myles Garrett, the face of the Browns, the defensive anchor, and the guy who doesn't hand out compliments lightly, has already acknowledged Shedeur as a future franchise quarterback. Jeudy, a new addition to the team, is already working like Shedeur is the one who'll be throwing to him on Sundays. These aren't casual nods. These are veteran-level endorsements. These are the things that usually come after a player proves themselves in games, over time, after multiple seasons. Shedeur got it before his jersey even got grass stains. And the best part? He's earned it. It's not based on his last name. It's not because of social media followers or nil fame. It's because he's stepped into training camp and quietly, methodically, owned the opportunity. Even without being given the first-team reps. Even while technically sitting behind the depth chart. He's been working with the second-team offense against the first-team defense, and still performing with poise and accuracy. That alone tells you everything. This is a player who understands timing. Not just in the pocket, but in the room. And that's what's making people nervous. Because the usual playbook for grooming a rookie quarterback isn't working here. The old model of waiting a year or two, keeping them away from pressure, letting them develop, doesn't apply when the guy already walks, talks, and plays like a pro. Cleveland didn't prepare for that. They planned for a longer timeline. They expected Shedeur to need time to adjust, to ease into the NFL pace. But now, in real time, he's accelerating past that timeline. And while the team's decision-makers try to stay patient and calculated, the rest of the league is watching with raised eyebrows. Because it's not just Cleveland watching Shedeur. Other teams are other coaches, other GMs. And if the Browns wait too long to acknowledge what's happening, they run the risk of doing something they've done too many times already, mismanaging a talent that could reshape their entire franchise. This is more than just a training camp storyline. This is the Browns' internal identity crisis being broadcast across the league. On one side, tradition. The belief that quarterbacks need time. That reps must be earned. That hierarchy should be respected. On the other side, what's actually happening? What Shedeur is doing. What the players are seeing. What the culture is shifting toward. Because make no mistake, this is a shift. Shedeur isn't just playing the game. He's playing the media game. The branding game, the locker room game, and he's winning on all fronts. The NFL isn't the same league it was 10 years ago. It's no longer enough to be talented. Quarterbacks are expected to be cultural figures now. They have to lead the franchise and the brand. They have to know how to manage press, social media, marketing deals, fan bases. Shedeur already has all of it down. That's what makes this feel so pressing. Cleveland can't afford to be the last ones to realize it. Because while they're trying to stay cautious, everyone else is adjusting. Scouts are watching his footwork, sure, but they're also watching how Shedeur controls the tempo of a drive in practice. How he speaks to teammates. How he doesn't flinch under the weight of expectations that have already been placed on him.
If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
And this is where it gets uncomfortable. If Cleveland doesn't capitalize, another franchise will. That's not speculation. That's how this league works. Quarterbacks don't stay locked in forever, not in the modern NFL, where media attention and marketability carry just as much weight as mechanics and decision-making. We're already seeing early movement. Other teams are floating ideas. Analysts are predicting potential landing spots 2 years down the line if the Browns don't handle this right. That should terrify Cleveland. Because they don't just have a good quarterback on their hands. They have one who's ready to lead a team and shape the league. And if they don't lean into it, they risk becoming the latest example of a team that fumbled the future by clinging to the past. This is about more than just football. It's about control. It's about the league moving forward, with or without you. It's about Cleveland needing to stop managing a narrative and start listening to the one that's already being written for them. Because Shedeur Sanders isn't knocking at the door of a starting role. He already opened it. The only question now is whether the team will catch up or continue pretending they're still in charge of the timeline. The locker room knows. The league knows. The fans know. What more do you need? There's a reason players like Garrett and Jeudy are responding to Shedeur differently. They've played with franchise quarterbacks. They've played with guys who didn't cut it. And they know when someone has it. That intangible mix of calm and confidence. That ability to take control without barking orders. That natural leadership that doesn't have to be taught or forced. That's what Shedeur brings. And let's not forget, he's doing all of this under a microscope. His every move is being tracked. Every quote, every clip, every pass. That kind of pressure crushes most rookies. But Shedeur isn't just surviving it, he's thriving in it. He's navigating the media, handling expectations, managing relationships, and still showing up every day to perform. There's no off switch with him. He's locked in. And the longer the Browns try to delay what's already happening, the more awkward it's going to get. Because the rest of the NFL isn't waiting. They've seen the new model. They've seen what branding mixed with performance can do. They've seen what a quarterback who can lead and influence can mean to a franchise. And Shedeur fits that model better than anyone entering the league right now. So if Cleveland can't, or won't, see it, someone else will. And when that moment comes, there won't be a press conference in the world that can explain how the Browns let it happen again. Not after this training camp. Not after these endorsements. Not after this much proof. Shedeur is ready. The locker room is ready. The spotlight is ready. The only thing left is whether Cleveland will finally be ready. Hit like if you've seen enough from Shedeur to know he's the real deal. Drop a comment with your take. Should the Browns make him the starter now or wait and risk losing momentum? And subscribe if you want to follow how this all plays out, because whatever Cleveland decides, Shedeur Sanders is already one step ahead, and the league knows it. At this point, it's undeniable, Shedeur Sanders isn't just making noise, he's changing the frequency. Every single rep in training camp, every perfectly timed throw against Cleveland's first-string defense, every quiet moment of leadership behind the scenes, it's all been adding up. And now, the Browns are backed into a corner of their own making. They wanted control. They wanted to set the pace. But Shedeur's the one dictating tempo now. Not because he's asking for it, but because his play, his presence, and his poise are forcing it. And what's really exposing the Browns right now is the growing gap between what's happening and what's being acknowledged. Players know it. The media knows it. The fans definitely know it. Shedeur Sanders isn't being viewed as potential. He's being treated as inevitable. So when does the front office catch up? Because there's only so long you can pretend this is still a competition. At some point, continuing to frame Shedeur as in development just looks like denial. He's operating like a franchise quarterback in every way except title. And the longer Cleveland waits to make that title official, the more they risk fracturing the very momentum they so badly need. And yes, momentum matters. This league runs on it. This isn't just about arm strength or route timing. It's about chemistry, energy, coach. And right now, Shedeur is the only player in Cleveland who's commanding all three without even stepping into a regular season game. He walks into the building like he's been there for 5 years. He executes like he's seen every look the defense throws at him. And he carries himself like someone who doesn't need the spotlight, but knows exactly what to do when it finds him. That's not a fluke. That's not luck. That's someone who's built for this moment. And still, the Browns are treating him like a backup. Let's be honest. The hesitation here isn't about whether he can perform. He already has. It's about whether the Browns are ready to break their own mold and finally do what they haven't done in decades, hand the keys to someone who's actually earned them. Because that's what this is. A pattern. Cleveland has had quarterbacks. They've had big names, flashy moments, temporary hope. But none of them had the mix of on-field presence and off-field command that Shedeur's displaying right now. None of them had this level of internal buy-in before taking a single professional snap. And the Browns? They've been burned before. That's the part they can't seem to let go. They're scared of repeating history. Scared to bet big and come up short. But here's the problem. That fear is going to create the failure they're trying to avoid. Because every day they don't commit to Shedeur, they're not protecting a plan, they're wasting time. Time that could be used building around the one guy who actually looks like a leader. Time that could be used establishing rhythm, continuity, and confidence in a young QB who already has the team leaning in. And if you think that team isn't watching how this plays out, think again. NFL locker rooms are smart. They know who the real ones are. They know who's winning reps, who's showing up early, who's delivering under pressure. They know when someone's got that something, and they know when the coaching staff is ignoring it. Right now, that's the risk. The more the players see Shedeur balling out with the second team while someone else runs the first team offense without matching his impact, that creates tension. Maybe not loudly, not immediately, but it's there. And once that tension starts growing, it's hard to bring it back down. Because players don't want politics. They want results. They want to win. They want to rally around someone who can lead. And if the guy who's proving it every day is being overlooked, they start to question everything. Is this really about competition? Or is it about protecting egos, reputations, contracts? That's when trust erodes. Quietly, but fast. The Browns have seen this movie before. They've lived through quarterback drama, inconsistent messaging, locker room splits, and wasted seasons. They're one of the few franchises where the history of failure has become a shadow that's hard to shake, even when success is right in front of them. And that's what makes this so frustrating. Shedeur Sanders is right there. He's the answer to the question they've been asking for 20 years. What if we had a quarterback who wasn't just good, but who fit? Who owned the moment, who connected with the locker room, who elevated the offense, who brought structure and spark all at once? That's what Shedeur is doing. Right now, before his rookie year even kicks off. But Cleveland's still hesitating, still clinging to old blueprints, still tiptoeing around a decision that, frankly, has already been made for them, by the performance, by the players, by the vibe that's shifted in the building. And look, if this were just about hype, it'd be easy to dismiss. But it's not. It's about performance under pressure. About being tested by the best defense on the team and responding like it's just another rep. Shedeur didn't just show up and make noise. He showed up and brought order, clarity, consistency. He's the rare rookie who isn't just stepping into a role, he's redefining what that role even looks like in 2025. He's the quarterback of the now. Not just because of how he plays, but because of how he carries the weight that comes with the job. The scrutiny, the expectations. The spotlight. It doesn't shake him. He absorbs it and keeps moving. That's the part Cleveland can't buy. They can't teach it. And they sure as hell can't afford to waste it. Because if they wait too long, this turns. The energy they have now? It fades. The buzz? It shifts to frustration. And Shedeur? He's too poised, too polished, too prepared to stay somewhere he's being held back. Other teams are watching. The league is watching. Shedeur's camp is watching. And the Browns are out of excuses. They don't need more reps to evaluate. They don't need more meetings. They don't need another press conference where they talk about development while everyone in the room is thinking the same thing. He's ready. So what are we doing? If the Browns want to get out of their own way for once, just once, this is the time. They finally have a quarterback who has the arm, the head, and the brand to lead this franchise into a new era. But that only works if they give him the runway. Otherwise, they'll end up where they always do, looking back and wondering how they blew it again. How they let someone walk into their building and show them the future, only to send him to the bench while they kept clinging to the past. So yeah, the league is stunned. Because this doesn't happen often. A rookie who hasn't played a game, already being treated like a leader. A franchise that's needed an identity for years, finally being handed one, and still hesitating. That's what makes this moment so critical. It's not about if Shedeur Sanders is the future. It's whether Cleveland is smart enough to realize the future has already started. So here we are. The lights are on, the camp whispers are getting louder, and the Cleveland Browns are standing at a fork in the road with the entire NFL staring them down, waiting to see what they'll do with the moment staring them in the face. On one side, the old guard. The slow burn, stick-to-the-plan routine. The conservative, clock-punching idea that rookies sit and veterans start, no matter how things are playing out on the field. And on the other side, Shedeur Sanders. Not a project. Not a long-term maybe, but a present-tense problem solver who just walked into an NFL facility and flipped the entire quarterback dynamic upside down, without even being given the starter reps. He wasn't supposed to shake things up like this. Not this fast. Not this loudly. Not this clearly. But he did. And now, the Browns can't ignore it. Because it's one thing to have raw talent. The league is full of guys who can throw the ball 60 yards or run a 4.4. It's another thing to walk into a locker room of NFL veterans and immediately be treated like you belong. That's the thing that separates future stars from footnotes. Shedeur's got it. And everyone knows it. You've got Myles Garrett, one of the most respected voices on the team, going out of his way to acknowledge the guy. Not because he has to. Not because the PR team told him to sprinkle in some kind words. But because he sees it. Because it's obvious. And let's not act like Garrett hasn't seen quarterbacks come and go in Cleveland. He's played long enough to know when something's just preseason buzz and when something's real. Same goes for Jeudy. He's new to the Browns, still trying to establish himself, still trying to gel with the offense. And yet, who's he clicking with during training camp? Not the presumed starter. Not the guy higher on the depth chart. It's Shedeur. Chemistry doesn't care about status. It shows up in reps, in rhythm, in that unspoken trust between receiver and quarterback. And right now, that chemistry is already forming with the rookie who isn't supposed to be ready yet. Cleveland knows this. Deep down, they all know what's happening. But they're still trying to fit this square peg into their round timeline. Still trying to manage a development curve that Shedeur clearly isn't following. And while they stall, the spotlight's getting hotter. The press questions are getting more direct. The fan base is getting louder. Because this isn't some niche training camp storyline anymore. This is turning into a full-on quarterback controversy. And not the messy kind with locker room tension or off-field drama. This one's clean, professional, and completely unavoidable. You have a rookie who's earning the respect of veterans, outperforming expectations, showing composure under pressure, demonstrating maturity beyond his years, and commanding attention from both the media and the league. So what exactly are you waiting for? There's this outdated idea in football that quarterbacks have to wait their turn. But the game has changed. The NFL now rewards readiness, not age, not experience, not draft status. Readiness. And Shedeur has proven he's ready. He's shown he can stand in against elite defenders like Myles Garrett and not blink. He's shown he can make the right reads, throw with accuracy, and lead an offense, even when he's not working with the first-team guys. He doesn't need permission to take the next step. He just needs the Browns to stop pretending they're not seeing what everyone else already is. Because here's the thing, the Browns aren't just at risk of wasting Shedeur's talent. They're at risk of losing him. Let's be real. In today's NFL, players move. Stars switch teams faster than ever. And if you think Shedeur, who's built his entire career on knowing his worth and maximizing his brand, is going to sit around forever while the team drags its feet, you're dreaming. The league is watching. Whispers about future trades or franchise shifts aren't just hypothetical anymore. Teams are already thinking long-term. Scouts are already filing mental notes. If Cleveland doesn't see it, maybe we should. That's the danger in hesitation. The Browns are treating this like they're the only ones in the room with Shedeur. But they're not. Not even close. And if they keep playing this safe, slow game, they won't just lose momentum, they'll lose the locker room. Because while the front office might be clinging to the plan, players don't care about depth charts. They care about winning. And if the guy giving them the best shot is holding a clipboard on game day, that disconnect doesn't stay quiet for long. That's how you fracture trust. That's how you derail a season before it even begins. Right now, the Browns have alignment. Players are buying in. The buzz is real. The potential is tangible. And for once, the city has a quarterback who looks like he belongs, not just on the field, but on the stage. Shedeur Sanders has already become the face of a cultural shift in Cleveland, whether the franchise embraces it or not. He represents more than just upside. He represents the evolution of what it means to be a quarterback in this league. He understands media. He understands branding. He understands how to lead in a way that resonates with both players and fans. He's not just built for football. He's built for the modern NFL. And he's ready now. This isn't about taking a chance on potential. This is about recognizing that potential has already turned into performance. The Browns can either name Shedeur the starter and ride the wave, or they can fall behind while someone else does. And let's not get it twisted. If Cleveland fumbles this, Shedeur's not the one who'll be questioned. The front office will be. The coaches will be. The leadership structure will be. Because how many times does a franchise get handed a gift like this and still hesitate? Not many. So if you're watching this whole thing unfold with that same mix of awe and confusion, you're not alone. Like this video if you're already convinced Shedeur is QB1 material. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Should Cleveland stop delaying the inevitable or stay the course? And hit subscribe to keep following this saga as it plays out in real time, because one thing is crystal clear. Shedeur Sanders is already moving like a franchise quarterback. Now it's just up to the Browns to make it official.